Hey, what's happening everyone? Journeyman here and welcome back to We March On. This is episode 18 now of my save with Southampton Football Club. So in the second season and it's our first spell in Europe, we're up against Sampdoria away from home today in today's episode, and we're also going to take on Arsenal at home to make it a little bit of a double header. So there's been a couple of games since the last one, and today let's go take a look at some of those fixtures and results. First and foremost was a very boring 0-0 draw against West Brom, but we were playing West Brom, so I'm not sure what you would expect. We didn't really create many chances, and honestly, they didn't either. It was a very dull game. This one was completely opposite, though. It was a 4-0 win over Middlesbrough. What was pleasing about these two victories, it wasn't necessarily the manner in which we won the game. It was the fact that we kept 2 clean sheets in a row. So that was very pleasing stuff, considering we don't have Fraser Forster. We didn't have Jeffrey Broomer for these games. We didn't have Emmanuel Mass at left back. So we're struggling a little bit for players there. So it was really good to see that we had a couple of clean sheets, and the defense was kind of living up, playing beyond their expectation is what I should really say. In fact, Mare actually got the man of the match award with a goal and an assist. After that, Dembele got the goal, then Benteke, then Mario Lemina also getting on the 32nd minute. After that point, I felt like it was a bit of a rout from then onwards. Middlesbrough didn't really threaten at all. So the European Cup draw did happen in the group stage. Go check out our group. We got drawn against Sampdoria, as we know, Bate Borisov of the Belarusian League, and FC Porto. So on first glance, I actually was pretty happy with this draw. I felt like it could have been a hell of a lot worse. But I feel like we got a chance to qualify to the next stage from this group. I think we're better than Barta. I know Porto is going to be a very tough game, but Sampdoria, that's going to be the team that we've got to be very wary of. Overall, I mean, honestly, we'll have to see what happens. I'm not 100% knowledgeable on either of those two teams, Barta and Sampdoria. Obviously, legendary speaking, yes, they're wonderful football clubs. But honestly, I felt like we had a chance to go through here. We just have to play up to our standards, usual standards, and we stand half a chance. Alright, so going into today's game up against Sampdoria away from home at the Luigi Ferraris Stadium. I don't know who that gentleman is. I'm sure he was a bit of a legend for Sampdoria. The manager, Rafa Benitez, that's a little bit of interesting twist. Obviously left Newcastle and went to them. Let's see who they have. Any recognisable? Looks like Joel Campbell, the former Arsenal player. Moved to AC Milan 4.5, and then he went to Sampdoria for 4.1. Very pacey player. I always thought he was a little bit underrated and underused at Arsenal. Felt like he was a decent player. Who else do they have out of interest? This actually is pretty interesting. Who else do they sign? Anyone I know? The key player, they got Johan Kabaya. That's actually a player that I almost signed in the pre-season. He was available on a very cheap deal, 3.1 million. That's a player I almost brought in myself, but decided against him and go with more younger talents. Who else do they have in their first team squad? Let's talk about value real quick. Kaulanetti apparently is one of the better players. Polish centre midfielder, very versatile, very talented box-to-box midfielder. Gaston Ramirez, that's a name we all know too well at Southampton. At one point he was a club record transfer and he really did fail to live up to expectations. He went on loan to Hull, didn't do much there. Went to Middlesbrough, didn't really do much for them either. And then he's gone to Sampdoria on a free transfer. So a little bit of a fall from grace. He had so much potential early on, disappointing to see him never really live up to it. But anyway, back to task at hand. Let's go with today's team news and lineup. So, as you can see, a lot of players unavailable for today's game through either injuries, loan spells going out, and registration, like Kuki here. That was a mistake for me. I overlooked that one. So, Kuki will not be available until we get to register a team again. So, that was a major fuck up for me. And instead, we're going to have to rely on Luan, Dembele, and Benteke to get us the goals. So, anyway, going into today's lineup, McCarthy's obviously going to remain in goal. Fraser Forster is still 4 to 8 weeks away from returning to first team football. Alexander Arnold's going to play right back. Denswell Broomer through the middle. Matty Targett's going to play left back. Emmanuel Mass is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So hopefully He'll be back pretty soon. Target's doing okay so far this season. He's had some really decent performances, as you can see, for an average rating of 7.5. Midfield's going to be Romeo, Classy, Lamina, Luan in the attacking midfield with obviously Dembele and Benteke up top. Now, on the bench, we got Figueres, Gomez, Torre, Romero, Ward-Prowse, Stephen Davis, and a youngster, 16-year-old that came up through the youth academy last year, Paul Hopewell. Now, he hasn't played a single first-team appearance for us yet, so he might get his chance today if the situation arises. He's scored plenty of goals for the youth team, and I really don't have many other options, so I thought, why not give him a run out and at least give him a place on the bench? If not, it'll be decent experience for him. So with that in mind, let's give him a squad number. Let's give him number 17. And you could say, I hope he plays well if he gets the opportunity. Okay, that pun was pretty awful. All right, let's get to the task at hand. Sampdoria away from home in our first opportunity to play some European football as manager of Southampton. Let's hope we can do better than previous seasons. All right, here's an early chance maybe on. Here's Dembele, Algeria. Gives it away. Jordi Classy wins it back though. Here's Romeo. Alexander there. He's got space to cross it. He finds Dembele. He scores. Moussa Dembele, get in there. 8th goal of the season for him. He's been absolutely on fire this season. Moussa Dembele, bargain fee of only £8 million as well. That could well be the bargain of the season, at least thus far he is. Good ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold, who actually has been pressing me at that forward, that attacking fullback role thus far. He's actually lived up beyond expectations. I knew he was going to struggle at times, but so far he's adapted really, really well. And then here's another chance. Benteke, decent shot from the edge of the area. Good build-up play. Benteke and Dembele forming a really nice partnership up top. So that was very pleasing to see. Here's a chance from the corner kick. Classy's going to whip it in. Look for Densbo. Heads it down to Dembele, and that was another good chance there. Could have easily been 2-0 up here. So early going, we're looking really good against this Sampdoria team. A team that I obviously thought would compete with us to get qualified to the next round. Here's a chance though. Capriani shoots, and safe hands there from Alex McCarthy in goal. He's done very well, deputising for Fraser Forster since he's been injured. Here's Densbo with the corner. Surprised he's taken it. Here's Luan. That was a good chance. And a flick behind for another corner kick. Let's see what we can do with the ball. Cross it into Luan. Luan back to Classy. Jordi Classy puts it back in, deflects off a defender, and it's another corner. Good spell of pressure. We've got to make it count. Here's Denswell with his left peg. Whips it in, looking for Bruma. Can't find him. Here's Luan at the edge of the area. So Mario Lamina. Super Mario gets tackled by Kabaya in the box, and the ball should now be cleared by the Sampdorian defender, and the attack is over. Alright, so first half gone. Nothing much really more to say, really. Things are going very, very, very well for us. Probably too well. I shouldn't say that, honestly, because knowing my luck, he'll jinx us, and Sampdoria will come roaring back and score a couple of goals. But on the plus side, everyone's putting a decent shift in thus far. Nobody spectacular, but everyone's doing their job, which is all I can ask for in a European away game. Obviously, that's something we have to really consider this season too. The first time we got to balance Europe and the Premier League, and up against Arsenal at the weekend will be our first major test of that. Here's an early chance in the second half. Luan, should have made it 2-0. Good save from there from Vivano in goal for Sampdoria. Let's see if we can make something from this corner. Be good to go 2-0 up here. Ball's whipped in, and Kabaya with the header clear, but Lamina does well to win the ball back. Ever present in the midfield for us. Here's Luan, Romeo. Romeo shoots, deflects off the defender, and the attack comes to nothing. Alright, here is another highlight. It's been an action-filled game, to be honest with you. Not many clear-cut chances, but lots of half chances. Here's Benteke. Benteke to Lamina. Lamina here turns to Luan to Benteke, and decent save. I think it was going wide anyway, but a good save from the get across there from Vivanio. I think he pronounced his name. Not sure he pronounced his name. I say that a lot. Probably say it far too much. I should probably work on that. Here's Romeo to Trent Alexander, and the attack is over. Alright, 70 minutes on the clock. Now I'm torn here. I probably should make a change. Luan has been a little bit quiet in that attacking midfield role. I've got James Ward-Prowse on the bench. So I'm probably going to bring him on. I'm thinking about changing it right back too. Trent Alexander-Arnold is struggling a little bit for fitness, and I do want him to play against Arsenal at the weekend. So Torre is going to come on in his place. What the score is 1-0. I don't want to bring on Hopewell just quite yet. It'd be too much of a risk. Here's Torre. Throws it in, gives the ball away, and here's a chance now. Sampdoria have plenty of players forward here in numbers. Here's Kishner through on goal, And of course he scores on the counter-attack. It's been all us in the second half, and it only makes sense that Sampdoria go and score on the break. Decent finish there from Kishner. McCarthy did get a hand to it, or at least a foot or something. Yeah, looks like, he kind of got a hand to it, and honestly, he could have done a lot better with that effort, and it's 1-1. Here's Lamina on the ball, goes forward here, Ward-Prowse to Dembele. Dembele shoots, and it hits off Vivano in goal. And honestly, that has to go down as an own goal, but it doesn't. It goes to Dembele. That's his 9th of the season now, but that looks like an own goal. Prowse to Dembele. He hit it up against the crossbar, hit the goalkeeper, and went in, but for some reason, the game is crediting Dembele with that one. Don't really agree with it, but we'll take it. It's 2-1. Here's a late corner kick, trying to make it 3-1 here. The ball is cleared only as far as Torre. Torre finds James Ward-Prowse, and it's a full-time whistle, though it is. 2-1 victory away at Sampdoria. What a good way to start our European campaign. Very, very happy with the performance as well. Plenty of opportunities. We carved them open on numerous occasions, and it really should have been more than 2-1. So I was thinking as well that maybe we weren't going to get away a win there. I thought it was going to be one of those situations where we were going to draw despite dominating. But the players reacted well, and Dembele got a couple of goals. He's been absolutely outstanding. As you can see, as 11th goal it's like 9th goal now in only 7 starts for the club. So he's had an amazing start to his career for us. Alright, so here we go, up against Arsenal, 3rd against 10th place. Not the way around you'd think it would be, though. We're 3rd, Arsenal are 10th, had a slow start to the season. Alright, so obviously with that mid-week European game, as you can see, the condition of players isn't perfect, so that's a job we have to do, trying to manage in players, rotation, things like that. So with that in mind, Jordi Clasie will get a break today. James Ward-Prowse will play in the middle of the park. And then up top, I'm going to keep things as they are for now, but I probably will take Benteke off at some point, depending on how the game is going. Obviously, the back is where we're weakest right now with injuries, suspensions, etc. Matthew Target's 92%, Alexander's 93%, Denswell and Broom are all 93% as well. Not ideal because Arsenal do like to move the ball around and they will tire our players out very quickly if we aren't careful. So on the bench, I'm actually going to put, I don't know, we got Joey Gomez in there. We could start Gomez. Gomez can play left back and right back as well as centre half. Same with Torre, he can play right back and centre half. So we have good options on the bench in case we do need to make those changes, and I do trust those players, even though Torre is still kind of new to the club. So Højbjerg is almost back from injury. Kuki is back for today's game. He'll play instead of Hopewell. He was actually injured for the last one, as well as unregistered, so he wouldn't have been able to play anyway. Alright, so going into today's game, we'll keep the same team, essentially. Instead of James Ward-Prowse will play instead of Clasie. This is how they line up Arsenal. They got Lacazette, Meza, Ozil, Sanchez, and Icardi. That isn't a bad front four, is it? I don't know, that's what, at least like 300, 400 million pounds worth of talent up top there. That's just absolutely sick, that is. Sickening. With Santi Cazorla and Ramsey behind them. So yeah, they're not bad. But where they are the weakest, though, is going to be at the back. Monreal, Bellerin, that's the players we can take advantage of. Rodrigo Callo, not player I'm familiar with. He signed from... looks like Sao Paulo Football Club for £8 million. He's only making his 2nd start in the Premier League as well this season. He's partnering Koscielny, who's obviously a world-class talent. Alright, so playing at home against Arsenal. We got a good result already against Liverpool, one of the top 4 teams, and we are currently moving up to 2nd place in the table with a draw, but we're currently 3rd in the table, so all things considered, we've had a fantastic start to the season. Let's hope we can continue today up against Arsene Wenger's men. Alright, early chance here. Alexander's going to throw it into Bruma. For some reason, he's high up the field. Not expecting him to be in that position from a throw-in. But here's Arnold to James Ward-Prowse. We've got to be careful there because Bruma's way out of position. I'm not sure why he was involved in that attack. Here's Lacazette to Ozil. Ozil's through, and that's a fantastic save. Oh, it wasn't a save at all. I thought McCarthy got a touch on it, but it goes harmlessly over the bar. We've got to be careful of that. Arsenal are superb at the counter-attack. We can't let them get forward with that many men. Alright, so half-time whistle has blown 0-0. Nothing to really speak of. Only one highlight so far, and that was the effort from Ozil. So things are really tight so far. So that's actually pleasing. I expected the game to be much more open and us to struggle today. We're going to the second half of the same team. Because you know what, with Dembele and Benteke, we've always got half a chance. Alright, here's Bello, and he throws it away to Luan. Luan's going to surge forward here. Pass it back to Romeo safely. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Always dangerous going forward. Lamina to Benteke to Luan to Dembele, who gets in there. Get in there, my son. 49 minutes on the clock. 10th goal of the season for Moussa Dembele. He is absolutely fire, this guy. Absolutely superb signing. £8 million. Can't recommend it highly enough. His movement, his finishing, everything about him is just absolutely superb. 1-0. Well, there's some bad news on the count on the right-hand side there. Dembele apparently has picked up a little bit of a thigh strain, which means he's struggling to finish out the match at 62%. We're going to have to give Kuki a run out today. Not exactly what wanted to happen, but Kuki, I have a player I have a lot of faith in. I know will develop into a really good player in the future. Now's the time for him to shine. Also, Romeo and Lamina are both struggling in midfield, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring on Lucas Romero for Romeo. And hopefully we'll be able to hold out here for that one very, very important and very crucial, very impressive 1-0 victory over Arsenal. All right, 85 minutes on the clock. Time for another change here. Lamina is struggling to finish out the game at 58%. So lucky enough, we do have a very talented young midfielder named Jordi Classy on the bench to bring on. Let's just hold out. We got 5 more minutes left to go. So what I'm going to do is little team talk on the side here. Going to tell the guys to concentrate, not do anything stupid. Just do your assignments and we should be fine. So a couple minutes left on the clock now. 3 minutes added on time and a minute and a half left to go. So here's Petr Cech. He's going to launch this ball forward, I would imagine. But he plays it short to Bellerin. Hits it long. Proust as well there. Here's Kuki. He gives the ball away cheaply, and this sets up Arsenal now for a good attacking opportunity. Lacazette runs at Target, but Target's been absolutely superb today against Lacazette. Here's Bellerin, closed down by Target. Ramsey to Ozil to Monreal to Alexis Sanchez. Been very, very quiet today. Here's Bellerin to Lacazette to Ozil to Welbeck, and that was their chance right there to equalise. Danny Welbeck skies it from the edge of the area, and we've got 30 more seconds to hold out here. Balls along with Benteke, Mustafi as well to win the ball off him. Here's Sanchez, one more chance maybe for Welbeck, but Bruma does well to get across, make the challenge. The ball isn't cleared very well. Here's Sanchez, he takes on Arnold, and the ball goes out for a corner kick, so danger's not quite over yet. Time is about up. Ozil whips it in. Proust with the heads it behind for another corner kick. So all hands on deck. Let's just hold out. We got a couple more seconds. Clear at once and the game should be done. Here's Luan. And there it is. Full-time whistle. Another fantastic victory for Southampton here. 1-0 win over Arsenal. Great way to finish off the episode. Superb stuff. And that lifts us all the way back up to the first place in the Premier League. Drops Arsenal below Liverpool now. Liverpool are 10th, Arsenal are 11th. So a bit of a surprise start to the season. Us being top of the table, that wasn't really what I was expecting. I was hoping for a much better campaign in the league. Couldn't have dreamt for this kind of start. But that's going to wrap up this episode. Nothing really more to go over. What I will do though is talk about the next episode. So we have Wolves at home next in the League Cup 3rd round. I'm not too worried about that competition. It'd be great if we could win it. Then we have Barca, Borisov. So we'll do that in the next episode. And then I suppose we could do Burnley away and make it a little bit of a double header. And then we'll just kind of continue in this manner as the season progresses. So we'll go through Wolves and West Ham. Then we'll play Barca and Burnley. Then we'll do the Porto game. We could actually do this one. Could we do Man City and Porto? Yeah, instead of Bournemouth. That Man City is way more interesting of a game than Bournemouth. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so what we're going to do is potentially we're going to play Wolves and West Ham off the camera. Then we'll do Barca and Burnley in one episode and Man City and Porto in another. So that's kind of the plan for the next couple of episodes. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you guys are coming over my FIFA save, welcome. Make sure you check out some of the earlier videos to understand what position we're at and how we did last season. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying it, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next part. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.